Hi, Scholar community. My name is Maria Camila Salazar. In today's podcast, we will approach a very interesting topic achieving equality in the workplace, particularly the case of Spain. This podcast presents regulation enacted in Spain that show the alternatives to achieve the implementation of gender equality measures within companies. According to the 2020 Global Gender Gap Report published by the World Economic Forum, there is a gender gap of 31.4% to close worldwide. This report pointed out that on average, only 55% of adult women are in the labor market, compared to 78% of men, while more than 40% of the wage gap and more than 50% of the income gap have not yet been overcome. Although there are still large inequalities between men and women in the labor market, there are several countries that have made progress towards gender parity. In Spain, the government enacted the Royal Decree 901 of 2020 on October 13, which established that all companies are compelled to respect equal treatment and opportunities in the workplace and must adopt measures aimed at avoiding any type of labor discrimination between women and men. This is achieved through the implementation of equality plans depending on the number of workers in the organizations. Consequently, the provision created a negotiation procedure for the establishment of equality plans through a negotiation commission within the company. It also regulates the content of the equality plans and provides a period of time to ensure the validity, monitoring, evaluation, and assessment of the plan. Finally, the equality plans will be subject to mandatory registration in a public registry. On the same date, the government enacted the Royal Decree 902 of 2020 on equal pay for women and men. The purpose of this regulation is to establish specific measures to enforce the right to equal treatment and non-discrimination between women and men in matter of remuneration, developing mechanisms to identify and correct discrimination in this area, with the purpose to fight against it. Similarly, labor relations are those that are subject to the application of the regulatory provision. Royal Decree 902 of 2020 set the principle of pay transparency and the obligation of equal pay for work of equal value. The following are the instruments of pay transparency conceived by the regulation. In the first place, as a general rule, it indicated that companies must have a remuneration register for their entire workforce, including management personnel and senior managers. The purpose of this is to ensure transparency in the configuration of remunerations and adequate access to information, based on the documented preparation of detailed data. The register must include the values of salaries, supplements, and non-wage payments of the staff disaggregated by sex. Particularly for organizations that carry out pay audits, in addition to the general measures, the register must reflect arithmetic and median averages of the grouping of jobs of equal value in the company broken down by sex and include a justification when the arithmetic mean or median of the total remuneration in the company of workers of one sex is higher than that of the other by at least 25%. Discrimination in the information or even the absence of such information may be subject to administrative and legal action. Lastly, the regulation stated the duty to hold meetings between the most representative trade unions and business organizations, the Ministry of Labor and Social Economy, and the Ministry of Equality, to analyze the progress of the fight against the wage gap and in the way in which this regulation has been applied. Consequently, the regulations issued in Spain provide an example of legal strategies to achieve inclusion and equality within companies. It is imperative that in Colombia we adopt legislation that obliges organizations to promote equality plans, which originate through agreements between companies and their workers, to carry out periodic audits in order to verify the implementation of their equality programs, that the Ministry of Labor exercises vigilance, and it is reiterated that discrimination within organization is indisputably controvertible through the tutela action and the ordinary jurisdiction. Thank you very much.